Part 18. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 171. Qiaoning Xuan, the one who killed them was your second daughter-in-law. What? Kill your own family? This is incredible. How could those people offend a woman like her at such an old age? Of course you can. The so-called gentleman's revenge is never too late in 10 years. I guess the daughter-in-law was tortured by the elders when she came in. Well, in this way, I have the most say. Some people feel that they are older and like to act like their elders and like to teach others. Yes, it is normal for a daughter-in-law to grow up without eating a grain of rice from her husband's elders' family, but in the end she will be taught a lesson by those elders. There are too many people who rely on their elders and always feel that others owe them. Yes, when my husband and I quarrel, his 7 aunts and 8 aunts take turns to lecture me. Sometimes I am so angry that I want to kill them. I have also encountered that the child's grandmother failed to take good care of the child and made the child sick. The sisters of the child's grandmother came to scold me and said that I did not know how to take care of the child. When I retorted, they said I was contradicting my elders, which made me feel so angry that I had a stomachache. Upstairs, you are too good-tempered. You are your parents' darling. Your parents must have never scolded you like this. Is it their turn to scold you? Next time they scold you, just yell back at them. If you want to scold someone so much, let them scold your daughter-in-law. Grandma, how is that possible? My second daughter-in-law gave birth to twin grandsons, and she is usually the most filial to me. Grandma's grandson, yes, my second aunt also had a car accident, although it was not as serious as my mother's. She was discharged from the hospital earlier than my mother. Qiaoning Xuan, she crashed the car on purpose so that no one would suspect her. As far as I know, she saw your mother driving out on the day of your mother's car accident, so she said she was going to buy something. Come back. But when the police asked her about her situation, she said she was suffering from low blood sugar and used the accelerator as a brake, so no one suspected her. Your mother's car accident had nothing to do with her. It was indeed a coincidence that you were almost hit by a falling object, and it had nothing to do with her. Grandma's grandson, what about other people's deaths? My aunt had a heart disease and died of heart failure. How did she do it? Qiaoning Xuan, that's because your second aunt changed her medicine. Juxin pills were replaced by vitamins, so it's useless for her to take them. What about my second aunt? She died of food poisoning. At that time, the family ate the fungi picked by young people in the mountains, and they all went to the hospital. My second aunt was old and died before she could survive. My cousins blamed themselves to death for this, and they still haven't forgiven themselves. Qiaoning Xuan, your second aunt was there at that time, right? That was because she put poisonous fungi in the prepared fungus soup. Did your second aunt say at that time that she was allergic to fungi and did not dare to eat them? So she was the only one who was fine? After the police investigation, it was found that she was indeed allergic to fungi and had not eaten fungi since she was a child, so she easily escaped the investigation. The grandmother's grandson's face became more and more serious the more he asked, "What about my third aunt?" When she went to the bank with her daughter, she encountered a bank robber and was accidentally killed by the gangster. Could it be that the gangster and my second aunt are they in a group? Qiaoning Xuan, no, that gangster is mentally ill. When he was ill, he posted a crime notice online. He said he was going to rob the bank the next day. Your second aunt saw it on the internet, so she would rather believe it than anything else. She didn't believe it, and she thought this was a good opportunity, so she asked your third aunt to borrow money and asked for cash. Your third aunt said she didn't have any cash, so your second aunt asked her to get it the next day. As expected, we met the prisoner, and your third aunt was also unlucky and was really killed. The old lady had already burst into tears and cried, What about my brother? Is there another reason for his death? Jiaoning Xuan, of course, your brother was also killed by her. Your brother has the habit of doing morning exercises. That morning, your brother went to do his morning exercises as usual, but suddenly he heard a splashing sound by the river, and there was a person's shoes and mobile phone on the bank. Your brother was hesitating to save people by the river, but your second aunt pushed him behind him. Unfortunately, as soon as he got down, his legs cramped up and he didn't come up. Your second daughter-in-law was watching from the side until he came up and then left. Later, your second daughter-in-law quietly took away her clothes and mobile phone. There was no surveillance in that place, so even if the police investigated later, they did not suspect her. The old lady continued to ask, "Do you have any evidence?" Jiaoning Xuan, of course, your eldest sister's medicine was replaced with vitamins. You can ask the police to investigate your second daughter-in-law's computer. There must be records on her computer of searching for which medicine has the shape that most resembles suxiaojuxin pills. Also, the mushrooms your second sister ate at home were all non-toxic at first. It was your second daughter-in-law who bought the mushrooms online. Originally, the mushrooms were completely non-toxic after being cooked, but she kept the ones she bought half-cooked. It was mixed in, so your second sister was poisoned, and your second daughter-in-law also has purchase records on her computer. As for your third sister's death, the evidence is also in her computer, and there are also browsing records. As for the evidence about your brother's death, you can go to the security guard at the park that day. The security guard saw a woman going to the park. Just show the security guard the photo. Grandma, it's been so long, how can that security guard still remember the appearance of my second daughter-in-law? Jiaoning Xuan, he remembers that after all, the people who go to the park every morning are basically old men and old ladies. Suddenly a young woman does not go to work early in the morning, but goes to the park. He must be curious. When she goes in and out, she spoke. The old lady asked again, "Then why did she kill my siblings?" Jiaoning Xuan, then it involves the grudge between your siblings and her. I wonder if you still remember that when you 5 siblings were young, you met a man carrying a linen bag on your way home. The old lady's face turned pale, and her eyes flashed guiltily. Can this anchor figure out what happened back then? The old lady's face has changed. Could it be that she did something bad when she was young and was avenged by that person's descendants? I guess so. Looking at her face, she looks guilty. Well, in the 1980s and 1990s, many people did not know that they had broken the law even if they did bad things. Yes, there was no surveillance at that time. If you were walking alone on the road, a prisoner might escape legal punishment if he killed someone. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 172. The old lady wanted to turn off the live broadcast immediately, but she also figured out the purpose of her second daughter-in-law, so she could only continue the live broadcast. Seeing that the old lady didn't answer, Jiaoning Xuan continued, "The man carrying the linen bag was not feeling well at the time and asked you for help. You were very kind at first, but after knowing that he went to the hospital with money to pay for his wife's medical expenses, the 5 of you robbed him of his money, left him where he was, and ignored him. Later, the man met a kind person and sent him to the hospital, but he had no money to pay for the medical expenses. After his wife knew that his money had been stolen, she knew that she would not survive and committed suicide. And when that man's child found out, she wanted to take revenge on you and killed her mother. Actually, when she married your son, she didn't know that you 5 siblings were the ones who killed her mother and wanted to live a good life with your son. Until your brother got drunk one time and accidentally what happened back then was told and she listened, so she decided to take action against you later. Grandma, you mean, my second daughter-in-law is that man's daughter? Jiaoning Xuan, yes, she had a very bad life when she was a child. Then why was this old woman not killed? It was her eldest daughter-in-law who was in the car accident. Xiaoning Sun, because this old lady was the only one who disapproved of taking the money. But she was the youngest at that time and had an introverted personality. She listened to her sister and did not dare to resist her. And since she became this old lady's after the second daughter-in-law, she was taken care of very much. For this reason, her second daughter-in-law did not kill her. Sure enough, good people are rewarded. This sentence is used here. Why does it feel a little strange? I think so too, but I somewhat understand her second daughter-in-law. If someone had caused me to lose my mother since I was a child, I would probably go crazy like this. This is the cycle of cause and effect. Retribution is not satisfactory, but it does not mean that retribution is not given. The time has not yet come. That's right, so people should not do bad things. Retribution will come one day. The old lady asked, "It has been many years since my second daughter-in-law came here, and the child was only born last year. It was also last year that my brother got drunk in front of her. Why did she attack my siblings just this year?" That's right, why did you start this year? You must make sufficient considerations before you kill someone. It is also possible that she was pregnant at that time and did not want to involve the child in her belly. I agree with you upstairs, know yourself and your enemy and you will be victorious in any battle. It takes a little time and brains to kill such a person without implicating yourself. Xiaoning Sun, the barrage has already hit the mark. She really needs to get familiar with your family before she can take action. She didn't dare to take action easily if she wasn't familiar with you before. Later she wanted to take action, but she felt that her life was very good now. Originally, she planned to let go for the sake of her twin children, but as the children grew older, she found it more difficult to be a mother. She felt that her mother's death was really unjust, and it was all because of those people she had grown up with. I just lost my mother's love, so I started taking action. The old woman cried and said, "I said at the beginning that I couldn't take my own money, but now it's fine. 4 lives have been lost. Others say that my family has done too many bad things, so they have suffered retribution. They are all looking at my family. It's a joke. Whenever I go out, people always point fingers at me, and some people say that I will be the next one to die. I didn't expect that it was really the retribution for doing bad things. 4 lives are worth 1. What's the use of crying now? Hurry up and call the police to arrest someone. Dead over in. Yes, they are not worth your crying for them at all. Yes, that's right, when bad guys get older, they sometimes do bad things that even give the police a headache. Without those 4 scourges, society would be a lot quieter. The grandma's grandson said, "I'm calling the police now." As soon as she finished speaking, the bedroom door was suddenly knocked. Grandma's grandson quickly went over and opened the door. Seeing his second aunt coming over, he asked, "Second aunt, are you still awake?" "Second aunt, I bought fresh milk today. I know your grandma hasn't gone to bed yet, so I gave her some so that she can sleep better." The old lady asked with a complicated face, "Second daughter-in-law, tell me the truth, did you kill all my siblings?" The second aunt's face changed and she said sarcastically, "Mom, what are you talking about? Their deaths were all accidents. What does it have to do with me?" The old lady said, "It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. Just talk to the police." The second aunt knew something was wrong, so she turned around and wanted to run away. I didn't expect that. As soon as I ran a few steps, I almost bumped into a policeman who was walking upstairs. "Old policeman, I just received a report that there is a murderer here. Could it be you?" The second aunt knew that she could not escape today, so she accepted her fate. The old woman looked at her second daughter-in-law. "That's her. She killed 4 of my siblings, and the evidence is all in her computer." The old policeman nodded, "I understand. We will investigate clearly. Soon, the police took the prisoner away. The old lady returned to sit down in front of the camera and said with red eyes, "Anchor, does my second daughter-in-law have no chance to come out again?" "Chiaoning soon, it's very possible." "Whoa." The old lady cried immediately, "My poor grandchildren lost their mother at such a young age." "Chiaoning soon, don't worry, your second son will meet true love in the future, and that person will be good to your grandchildren." The old lady was immediately delighted. "Really? Really, let's stop here." After Jiaoningsun finished speaking, he cut off the connection. "If you still need fortune telling, hurry up." Pedantic old man, fortune teller. "Jiaoningsun, pedantic old man, please pay first." The pedantic old man immediately rewarded a carnival. Jiaoningsun accepted the pedantic old man's connection request, and a man in his 30s appeared in the live broadcast room. This person is old-hearted. When I saw the nickname, I thought he was really an old man. Yeah, no one knows what kind of face is hidden under the online name, so everyone should be more careful. There are really too many scammers online, and I was defrauded of 50 yuan. Upstairs, it's only 50 yuan, just think of it as tuition fee. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 173. Chapter 173 The Missing Sister. Yes, many people always have to suffer a little loss before they can have a long memory. Pedantic old man, hello, anchor, my name is Zhang Tianshen. Jiaoning Xuan, hello, Mr. Zhang Tianshen, what do you want to do? Zhang Tianshen, I wonder if I can count others. Jiaoning Xuan, do you have a photo of that person? Zhang Tianshen, yes. Jiaoning Xuan, that's fine, show me that person's photo. Okay, Zhang Tianshen took the phone, found the photo, and put it in front of the camera. Jiaoning Xuan, okay, that's all. What do you want to count against her? Zhang Tianshen, she is my eldest sister. I want to know where she is now. Is she still alive? Are you lost? Isn't it because he is missing? Maybe, there are still dealers nowadays. People in some places like to buy one when they can't get a wife. What you said above is right, there are still many trafficked people living in misery. Jiaoningsun looked a little ugly when she thought about what she had just calculated. Your eldest sister disappeared 3 days ago, but she has passed away now. There was no surprise on Zhang Tianshen's face, but he said with a sad look on his face, I also guessed that her mobile phone was found on the overpass, and there is a river under the bridge. It seems that I guessed it right. She really jumped into the river and died. But it was just a breakup, but she actually died on her own, which made the scumbag easier. Now that she is better, the scumbag can find another new love smoothly. At this point, he continued to ask, Anchor, my eldest sister's body has never been found. Do you know where it is? Jiaoning Xuan, I know, but she is not in the river, but in an abandoned factory by the river. I sent you a private message with the address. You can go find her with the police. Zhang Tianshen, thank you. I will cut off the connection temporarily, but I will continue to live broadcast. I will apply for a connection after I find it later. Is that okay? I still have questions to ask. Ken. The man gave him the money and she just said a few words. She felt a little guilty about taking the money. People jumped into the river, but they were not in the river, but in an abandoned factory. What's going on? Maybe he was rescued and moved to an abandoned factory, but it's a pity that he was not rescued. According to what was said upstairs, if there is no resuscitation, you should call the police. Why is the body still there after 3 days? It is indeed very suspicious. Could it have been moved there by ghosts? There are no ghosts in this world. If there were, bad people would have been killed by ghosts long ago. This only shows that people are scarier than ghosts, otherwise why would the anchor know so many things? Also Qiaoning Xuan, okay, there is still one spot left, so hurry up. After all that, it got involved with herself again. As soon as 12 o'clock comes, she will go to practice. Beautiful future, fortune telling. Qiaoning Xuan, a wonderful future, please pay first. Better future immediately created a carnival. Qiaoning Xuan accepted his connection, and a young boy appeared in the live broadcast room. This little brother is so handsome, like a star. Standard small fresh meat. Wow, this person is probably the youngest person I have met since the anchor started live broadcasting. Indeed, it looks like he is underage. Isn't it true that she is a minor? It's okay, in our country, people over the age of 16 can start live broadcasting. That is, he must have encountered difficulties. The beautiful future sat straight, and it was restrained. Ikira, hello, I am a good future, you can rest assured, I am 18 years old, I just look very anxious. Qiaoning Sun nodded, I understand, what do you want to ask? A bright future, I am 18 years old this year and have just been admitted to college. I made a girlfriend online. She also took the college entrance examination this year. But I am from Beijing and I was admitted to a school in Beijing. She is from Zikan and took the college entrance examination. I went to school in Zikan, and the two schools are thousands of miles apart. My girlfriend is worried that the long-distance relationship will not end well, and it will take a lot of travel expenses and time for both parties to travel, so she wants to break up with me. I told her that I could repeat 1 year and then take the exam to the school she went to. In this way, we only need to wait for 1 year and we can be together all the time. I will also stay in Zikan and work with her in the future. I happily agreed and said that we would join the same company in the future. I told my parents about my idea, and my parents asked me to meet my girlfriend. My girlfriend refused, so I had to show her photos to my parents. After my parents saw it, they said she was the daughter of someone they had a grudge against, and she was deliberately getting close to me in order to ruin my future and make me not believe my girlfriend's words. I think my parents are overthinking it, because my girlfriend loves me very much, and their grudges from the previous generation should not involve our generation. We can fall in love with each other, that's our destiny. Your parents are right. If she really loves you, she should repeat her studies for a year and go to a school in the capital just like you. That's right, where can I see the school where my beloved gives up in the capital, the school in Kaoxichang? Yes, after graduation, it will definitely be better to stay in the capital and develop better. Your girlfriend probably lied to you on purpose. Although Zikan is not bad, how can anyone give up big cities and go to small cities like Zikan to develop? I also think it's a good thing you're not stupid and know how to come over and ask, otherwise your life would be ruined. Bright future, I just feel this way, so I want to ask, if I really disobey my parents and go home to repeat my studies, can I successfully get admitted to a school in Beijing? Is what my girlfriend said true? Is she you lied to me? Can I get married successfully? Qiaoning Sun counted with his fingers and said slowly, I'll tell you the truth, can you hold on? Better Future's heart skipped a beat, and he said anxiously, you said, I can hold on. Qiaoning Sun, okay, let me tell you. Your so-called girlfriend is actually the daughter of your father's first love and her husband. But your father's first love had a very bad life and lived in poverty. Her daughter listens to it every day. Her complaints gradually made her hate your family. Your parents are right. She just approached you deliberately and wanted to destroy you. She is not a student from Zikan, nor is she from Zikan. After this year's college entrance examination, she failed the exam, and her family has no money for her to study. Already working part-time. You are in the capital now, and she is in the capital too. Every time she says she takes a plane from West City to see you, she is actually just changing from one district to another. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 174. Once you go back to repeat your studies, after a while, she will make sure that you cannot go back to university, and she will have a showdown with you. By that time, you will be immersed in sadness and have no intention of studying. Although you successfully took the college entrance examination later, you did not do as well as you did the first time, and you only went to an ordinary junior college. Your parents then advised you to take the college entrance examination again, but you had no intention of studying, and you have been doing nothing for the rest of your life, which made your parents very angry. As for getting married, you will never be able to. Better Future's face was full of disbelief. How is that possible? How could she lie to me? As expected, he is a quasi-college student, he is too innocent. That is, there is a clear stupidity on the face. Nowadays, children who have just graduated are so well protected by schools and parents that they do not know the cruelty of society. Yeah, so although some schools do not support children watching TV, they do support them watching the news. They have to watch all kinds of news and write news headlines to prove that they are watching. That's right, that's right. Xiaoningsun sent him a private message. If you don't believe it, go to this place and look for her. I guarantee you will find her. Beautiful Future immediately checked the private message, and his face suddenly changed. It turned out to be that place. He saw her around there last time. She said her friend was there and she went to see her friend. Better Future hesitated for a while, and finally made up his mind. Okay, I'll go right away. Is it close to here? I want to see the results. I also want to see who that female liar is. Anchor, can you stop broadcasting? I also want to see. Yes, you calculated quickly today and there is no trouble, so just live broadcast for a while. Xiaoningsun saw that the screen was flooded with messages that wanted to see the follow-up. He looked at the time again and saw that it was still a long time before 12 o'clock. He said helplessly, okay, I will give out the pet fan benefits today, and I will not cut off the beautiful future I'm connected. Anyway, I have to connect with Zhang Tianchen later, so let's continue the live broadcast. The host is great. Anchor, I love you. I give little stars to the anchor. I gave the anchor a sports car. Suddenly, many people gave rewards to the anchor. Xiaoningsun was extremely satisfied, and the money he earned today was estimated to be tens of thousands. After leaving the dormitory, Bright Future rode a shared bicycle directly to a bar 1,000 meters away. He and his roommates are all considered to be clean and self-sufficient people who seldom go out. Even if I want to go, there will be a class reunion and a group of people will go together. After a while, the Bright Future came to the door of a bar. I am going, I'm in this bar. It's great, you can watch the lively scene. Even so, I really want to see it live, it must be very exciting. Then I will go down now. I see a bright future. After entering the bar, in order not to cause unnecessary trouble, Bright Future hid his cell phone and walked directly to the door of a private room. He wore headphones and could clearly hear what Xiaoningsun said. Xiaoningsun, just open the door and go in. A better future is coming through the door. As soon as I opened the door, I saw everyone inside was busy kissing. Some people were standing, some were sitting, some were lying down, and some were in the corners. The music in the private room was played very loudly, and everyone had their eyes closed at this time. The people inside did not notice that the door was opened, and they continued to kiss passionately. Better Future saw the figure lying on the man's body very familiarly, and roared, "You duo, what are you doing?" Yaduo was in the middle of kissing when he suddenly heard a familiar voice and immediately raised his head to look. Seeing the person coming, Yaduo's pupils shrank. "Qian Shaolai, why are you here?" Qian Shaolai said coldly, "Why am I here? I should ask, why are you here?" When other people heard the movement here, they also stopped kissing and looked here curiously. The man who was being pressed by Yaduo just now had his good deed interrupted and stood up unhappily. "Duo, didn't you say that you didn't have a boyfriend and I was dating you? Do you actually have a boyfriend?" Another woman came over and looked at Qian Shaolai several times. "My little brother is so handsome. Are you an adult? Will your mother not beat you if you come here?" Seeing that Qian Shaolai didn't say anything, the woman let out a sigh and walked away wisely. Yaduo was about to burst into tears. He looked at Qian Shaolai and then at the man. He didn't know how to explain it for a moment. Qian Shaolai sneered, "Okay, I understand." Leaving these words, he turned around and left. The person who just said in the live broadcast room that he was in this bar looked at Yaduo and whistled, "Don't you want to save it? Why don't you go after it? But no matter how fast you go, this relationship is over." He just wanted to watch the fun. Yaduo woke up from a dream and quickly chased out. The men who were watching the fun also followed. By the time Yaduo caught up with Qian Shaolai, they were already on the street. But it was already past 11 o'clock, there were very few people on the street, and no one was watching them. Yaduo stopped in front of Qian Shaolai and said anxiously, "Shaolai, please listen to my explanation." Qian Shaolai said coldly, "Explain? Explain what? Explain why you are in the capital when school is about to start? Explain why you are kissing other men in the bar? Explain that you are not a college student at all? Explain that you are approaching me just because to retaliate against me, make me restudy, then kick me and ruin my life." Yaduo stiffened, his face full of surprise. How would he know? She hasn't told anyone? She is the only one who knows about this plan. When Qian Shaolai saw Yaduo's face, he knew that what the anchor said was true. He broke down and said, "Why do you involve me in our grudges from the previous generation? I have never been sorry to you." Seeing that his plan was exposed, Yaduo stopped explaining and laughed to himself, "You are not sorry for me? It was all because your mother had you in the first place, so your father abandoned my mother and my father married me. My mother has made me suffer all my life. Is there something wrong with this woman's brain circuit? What does it have to do with anyone else? Having a child is not determined by the child in the belly. She must have been stimulated by the hard life for so many years. Me? I am a woman, but I also feel that this woman is not mentally healthy. Is she really mentally ill? Would a sane person kiss a man in a bar in the middle of the night? Aren't you afraid of being sold?" Qian Shaolai frowned and said, "Did your mother tell you this? No wonder she has a daughter like you, she is also a shameless person. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible." Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 175. Yaduo suddenly became angry and said with red eyes, "You said my mother is shameless. How can you say that to her? Why do you say that to her?" Qian Shaolai said coldly, "Just because she lies, just because she confuses right and wrong, just because she lets her daughter take revenge on me, I can say this about her. At first, she and my dad fell in love, but she thought my dad was too tall, ugly, not as good looking as your dad, not as good as your dad at the time, so he abandoned my dad. But my dad didn't wallow in sadness. Instead, he worked hard and met my mom. With my mom's help, our family got better and better, and we also opened a company. A few years later, your father's company went bankrupt due to poor management, and your life became increasingly difficult. On the contrary, with the support of my mother, My father's business is getting bigger and bigger. Your mother chose your father and abandoned my father. What does it have to do with me? Yuduoduo clenched her fists. She also knew that what Jian Shaolai said was right, but she just couldn't help but want to retaliate against him. So, now that you know the truth, are you coming to me to break up with me? Jian Shaolai mocked, I was stupid before, thinking that you were different from what my parents said, so I insisted on being with you. Do you know that for you, I really plan to go back and repeat my studies. My parents are against us every day at home not only because of the grudges of our elders, they also say that we are from the wrong family and have the wrong household. If I marry you in the future, I will be marrying into big trouble. My mother also said that your mother is a gold digger. If she marries you, your mother will drain my family's money. I've been busy convincing them lately, and I've made them angry several times just to be with you. Since you don't know how to cherish, then I have no feelings for you anymore. From today on, we will go back to each other, and we will have nothing to do with each other anymore. After saying that, he left. Yuduoduo immediately reached out to pull him, but he didn't even touch his sleeve. She wanted to chase him, but she didn't want to be so undignified. With no choice, he could only squat on the ground and cry out in pain. She had always wanted to take revenge on Jian Shaolai, but now that he left her, she finally found that she fell in love with him. Jian Shaolai is the person with the best family conditions that she has ever come across in her life. With her high school education, ordinary appearance, and now working in a bar, it is probably difficult to find a man with such good conditions. She is finished. A person watching the fun next to him raised his eyebrows and said, I know he doesn't want you anymore. Why don't you come with me? Follow me. I will support you. You only need to cook and do housework at home every day. I won't have to go home every day worrying about what to eat. Yuduoduo suddenly raised his head and looked at the man. Seeing that he was indeed well dressed, he asked, How much do you give me every month? The man said, I'll give you $1,005 a month. Every meal will have 3 dishes and 1 soup. Every meal will be different. Then I will take care of my parents who are paralyzed in bed. I will wipe their bodies every day, make medicine for them, and buy new clothes for them clothing. Yuduoduo was shocked and said, You have to do so many things, only $1,015 a month. The man nodded, Yes, 1,050 is a lot. Yuduoduo rolled his eyes at him, Do you think I'm a fool? You don't treat me as your girlfriend or wife, but you want to hire the most diligent nanny with the least money. The man added, But I will provide you with food and drink so that you don't have to work anymore. Yuduoduo snorted, ignored him, and turned back to the bar. Neuropathy. Jian Shaolai continued to broadcast as he walked, Anchor, thank you very much. You have changed my life. If it weren't for you, my life would be over. I will reward you again. Soon, he gave another gift worth a total of 20,000 yuan. Xiaoningsun was immediately elated and said in a light voice, You're welcome. If you have anything to do in the future, come see me again. Jian Shaolai, okay, I will definitely do it. Xiaoningsun cut off Jian Shaolai's connection, and Zhang Tianshen then sent a connection application. Anchor, please connect quickly, Zhang Tianshen is about to find his sister. Hurry up and anchor, it will be a pity if you miss it. Xiaoningsun had no choice but to start connecting. Soon, several people appeared on the screen. A man stopped at the door anxiously, I'm really the only one here. I just see that no one lives here, and I want to stay here for a while. If you don't want to, then I will move out tomorrow. I have too many things, and I don't have a car, so you have to give me some time to prepare. Zhang Tianshen said loudly, This is an abandoned factory. Even if you live here, this is not your home. We can also go in and search at will. If you don't dare to let us in, have you done something with a guilty conscience? Are you afraid of being caught by us, Discover? No, no, the man said nervously, I just. The old policeman saw that he was hesitant and looked like someone who had committed a crime, so he asked two policemen to control him, and he led the people into search. They entered a room with only one bed. But looking at the situation on the bed, you can tell at a glance that someone is under the quilt. Jiang Tianxian quickly stepped forward and lifted the quilt. A tied-up woman opened her eyes and looked at them in horror. The old policeman immediately took the cloth from her mouth. The woman knew she was saved and cried with joy, "You are finally here. That man is a pervert. He is a pervert and a murderer." "Murderer?" Jiang Tianxian asked, "who else did he kill?" The woman said, "I am a reporter. A few days ago, a woman's body was not found after she jumped into the lake. I wondered if she might have swam here and been rescued by someone from this abandoned factory, so I came here quietly to investigate. Come here." After arriving here, I found that the man had rescued a woman. When I found her, the woman was trying to escape, but the man beat her to death with a steel pipe. I was so nervous that I accidentally made a sound and was caught by him. He threw the woman into an abandoned well in front of me. He has been abusing and torturing me these past few days. Fortunately, I met you, otherwise I would really have to confess here." Jiang Tianxian immediately walked towards the well he passed by just now. The old policeman let go of the woman and took her over. "It's just that the bottom of the well is so deep that you can't see the bottom at a glance." Jiang Tianxian wanted to go down in person without much thought. The old policeman stopped him immediately. "Our people will go down. You are mentally unstable now, and something will happen if you go down." Jiang Tianxian had no choice but to make way. Soon after, the body from the well was brought up. Jiang Tianxian saw the body. Although the body was soaked in a circle and the face was so soaked that it was difficult to see the original appearance, he still recognized it at a glance and burst into tears. "Sister, you died. Well, it's miserable." End of chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 176. The old policeman asked, "How are you sure that this is your sister?" Jiang Tianxian cried and said, "When my sister disappeared, she was wearing this outfit. I took her to the mall to buy it myself. I recognized it at a glance." The old policeman nodded. "That's it?" Jiang Tianxian no longer wanted to live broadcast, so he said something to Qiaoningsun and cut off the live broadcast. Qiaoningsun sighed, "Everyone, the 3 quotas have been used up today, and the anchor is going to take a rest. Anchor, give me another spot, everyone wants to ask you for fortune telling." "That's right, we also want to tell fortunes. You all understand the anchor, fortune telling is a matter of leaking secrets. If too much leakage is revealed, it will have a great impact on the body. Do you want to kill the anchor?" "Yes, anchors are not like those liars who can count as many as they want. Anchors have real talent and learning." "Okay, I won't force the host. Qiaoningsun, see you next time." After saying that, I quickly started broadcasting. After some preparations, I went directly to Gushigo Indigo village. With the speedy magic formula, she passed in a few minutes. Zioha was sleeping in the place where Qiaoningsun was practicing. Suddenly he heard a sound in the distance and immediately stood up. "Woof! Woof! Woof! New master, you are finally back." Qiaoningsun stopped in front of Xiao Ije and took a look at the time. It was exactly 12 o'clock. She gently touched Xiaoha's head and said with a smile, "How good you are, you actually know that I will come back." Xiaoha rolled his eyes at Qiaoningsun. "I can understand you, of course I know you are coming back. Jiaoningsun took out the roast chicken that had been prepared for a long time and placed it in front of Xiaoiche. Here, I'm not at home. Grandpa and Grandma are such frugal people. They will probably only give you dog food and be reluctant to give you meat. When Xiaoha saw the roast chicken, his eyes immediately widened. He didn't care about Jiaoningsun and ate it with big mouthfuls. The new owner is right. As long as there are no young people in Lao Jiao's house, the old man is reluctant to give it meat. Even the dog food is limited, for fear of feeding it too much and the dog food will run out too quickly, causing the old owner to spend money. Buying too frequently made the old owner dissatisfied. Jiaoningsun patted its head and started to sit down to practice without wasting any time. Little Ha even ate all the bones, and he was very satisfied with what he was eating. But it slept a lot during the day, ate a lot of dog food at night, and ate a chicken weighing 3 to 4 kilograms, successfully filling itself up. He is not lying next to me like before, but is walking around and eating. 4 hours later, Jiaoningsun, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes and took out the book of immortal magic formulas. Sure enough, he unlocked the 9th sentence of the formula, go over. Past judgment, in short, allows her to go back to the past. The higher the spiritual power, the further back in time she can go back to the past. With her current spiritual power, it is estimated that she can only return to what she had a few days ago. And after she went back, she could see others, but others could not see her. Because everything in the past has already happened, she can also quickly let go of the past according to her own ideas and quickly experience things she has not experienced in the past. Jiaoningsun was a little excited, so that she could know what happened in the past. Especially when used for fortune telling, if there are many people who need to tell fortunes on a certain day, she does not need to waste a fortune telling quota and overdraw her body, she can just use it to solve the problem. It just so happened that she was not at home today. She wanted to see if her grandparents were being bullied at home. She thought about the timing in her mind. In order not to worry Xiaoha, but also for the purpose of testing, she grabbed Xiaoha, recited the formula, and then the person and the dog suddenly disappeared in place. Jiaoningsun and Xiaoha suddenly appeared at Lao Jiao's house. She glanced at the time in the living room. Sure enough, it was 9 in the morning. Xiaoha saw that he had suddenly changed places, his eyes were very uneasy, and his body was shaking a little. The new master is even scarier than the old master. He can actually change the space. Will he be abandoned here? The more Xiaoha thought about it, the more frightened he became, but he still couldn't help but hug his new owner's thigh tightly. Jiaoningsun looked down at Xiaoha and raised his eyebrows. Why, are you scared too? Aren't you usually fearless in the village? When the livestock in the village see you, every one of them will be scared to death. Xiaoha rolled his eyes at the new owner. Can those livestock compare with you? Can livestock be as scary as you? Jiaoningsun saw this and laughed. I'm joking with you, don't be afraid. You are my cash cow. I won't leave you here. What if your master asks me to pay for it? Xiaoha thought about it and felt that she had thought too much. She had a backing, and the backing was very hard, so she let go of her legs again and stood as majestic as usual. At this time, Jiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang had already gone to the fields to supervise. Jiaoningsun went over to take a look around. Seeing that nothing happened and the villagers were getting along in harmony, he went to the door of the shop again. She stood for 2 minutes and saw that nothing happened. She was about to play it again quickly when she saw Ren Jingjing coming. Ren Jingjing walked directly into Zhou's fresh with her stomach puffed out. After a while, Jiao Shulan came out with her and walked to the alley next to her. Jiaoningsun also took Xiaoha over quickly and heard them talking. Jiao Shulan said displeasedly, whatever you want to say, just say it. I'm busy in the shop and don't have much time. Ren Jingjing looked pitiful and said, Sister Lan. I don't have a sister, so don't call me sister. Okay, Okay, Ren Jingjing suddenly leaned against the wall, as if she had no strength and was about to fall down. Xiao Shulan pointed to a place. Don't even think about pretending to be sick to blackmail me for money. There is surveillance there. If you pretend to be sick to blackmail me for money, I will post the entire process of how you blackmailed me online. Ren Jingjing's body stiffened and she gave Xiao Shulan a hard look. You are really thoughtful, so why are you so willing to follow me out? It turns out you are still afraid of me, so you chose to be under surveillance. Yes, I'm afraid of you, Xiao Shulan mocked. I believe there are very few people who are not afraid of being blackmailed by pregnant women. Since you are here to blackmail me today, I have nothing to say. After saying that, she was going back to the shop. What my daughter said is indeed true. Some people nowadays like to blackmail people and get something for nothing. Surveillance must be installed whether it is indoors or outdoors. Seeing that Xiao Shulan was about to leave, Ren Jingjing no longer hesitated and spoke quickly. Wait a minute, let me tell you the reason for my visit today. Xiao Shulan stopped and turned around. Let's talk. If she didn't let Ren Jingjing talk, she would probably chase her into the shop again and affect her customers. Ren Jingjing said, can you lend me 100,000 yuan? Xiao Ningxun smiled angrily. Is her mind so weird? End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 177. Xiao Shulan felt that she was hallucinating, so she asked again, what did you say? Ren Jingjing said, I said I wanted to ask you to borrow 100,000 yuan. I have been observing around your shop for a long time. The things you sell are all from your own land. The cost is smaller than other shops. The daily turnover is several thousand yuan there must be. The last time Yuan Deshan was at the construction site, he accidentally broke his leg. Now he can't work and can only lie down at home. I'm pregnant again, and the couple don't have enough money to spend. They don't even have enough money to pay for my examination, and our family is going to starve to death. This child of mine is also Xiao Ningxun's nominal brother. Yuan Deshan is also your daughter's adoptive father. If she really starves to death at home, your daughter's reputation will be ruined. You don't want your daughter to bear the reputation of her adoptive father who starves to death, right? Xiao Ningxun was speechless. Did he starve his adoptive father to death? Ren Jingjing is too naive. It's not that Yuan Deshan doesn't have adults or parents at home, it's not that he doesn't have a phone, relatives, and friends. Even if he really starved to death, she, an underage student, can't be blamed. Her current task is not to support her family, but to study. Sure enough, Xiao Shulan was not frightened by Ren Jingjing, and said sarcastically, in order to get money, you really do anything, even cursing your own man. Don't worry, no matter what you say about that scumbag, no matter how miserable it is, I won't give you a penny. If I give it to you, it will really make people laugh. If you don't leave, I will post the video of you asking for money on the internet. Netizens are here to attack you. After saying that, she went back to the shop directly without even giving him a superfluous look. Ren Jingjing was very upset. Yuan Deshan said that Xiao Shulan was timid and would listen to her if she was threatened. He obediently took out the money, but he actually lied to her. She had no choice. There were surveillance cameras everywhere, and she didn't dare to cause any more trouble, so she had to leave first. Xiao Ningxun fast-forwarded the scene in the shop today, and seeing that nothing happened again, he returned to Gasuga with peace of mind. Zioha, go home, see you next time. Zioha, woof. Alright. Xiao Ningxun returned to the villa in the city. It was still early for class, so she continued to sleep to recuperate. Because Yan Yuxiu has acne on her face, she looks at it once a day and feels sad. She simply ignores it and never looks in the mirror when washing her face. She is also a day student. She can go home every night. Sometimes she takes the bus in the morning, and sometimes her parents drive her to school. After washing up and applying the medicine given by Jiaoningsun to her face, she came to the table and sat down as usual. Yan Jiu glanced at his daughter's face and said in surprise, "Yuxiu, what's wrong with your face?" Yan Yuxiu suddenly became nervous. "Dad, what's wrong with my face? Could it be that Jiaoningsun's medicine didn't work and her face got worse?" "No," Yan Jiu said doubtfully, "compared with yesterday, the acne on your face is actually much smaller. If you don't look carefully, you can't even see the acne. There is also a chin that was still very swollen yesterday. The swelling has subsided a lot now. Did you take any medicine?" Yan Yuxiu looked surprised and said, "Really?" "Yeah, if you don't believe me, go look in the mirror." Yan Yuxiu is no longer afraid of mirrors. She quickly walked to the mirror. She had seen her face before. "I saw that my face was indeed much better than before, and the skin in the areas without acne had become much tenderer. I felt very happy." Yan Jiu saw his daughter come back and sit down, with a smile on his face, and his mood became lighter. He has never seen his daughter smile so happily since her face was covered with acne. The air pressure at home has always been very low. Whenever anyone's face is mentioned, my daughter's mood will be affected. Yan's mother Zhou Yuing brought out the last breakfast from the kitchen. When she saw her daughter's face, she was also very surprised. "Yuxiu, why did the acne on your face suddenly disappear so much?" Yan Yuxiu said with a smile, "I met a doctor. Her medical skills were very good. I took the medicine once and my acne disappeared a lot." Zhou Yuing and Yan Jiu looked at each other and immediately became interested. "Which hospital did you go to? When did you go? Haven't you been studying? Did you take leave while you were studying?" Yan Yuxiu shook her head, "I didn't go to the hospital." As she spoke, she told the story of Jiaoningsun giving her the medicine, and by the way, she also mentioned her treatment standards, which were basically the same as what she told the people in Daguo village. The most important thing is that it's not something that the hospital can't cure. It can be cured by spending a small amount of money. Don't go to her. Zhou Yuing said worriedly, "A student of your age is so powerful? Will her medicine have any side effects? Could it be a lie to you? Or is it cheating you of your money?" Yan Jiu said, "I don't think I need to worry. Jiaoningsun is Yi Shui's classmate. If the medicine is not good and something happens to Yi Shui's face, then she will not be able to stay in the class anymore, and we as parents will not be able to stay in the class anymore. He will cause trouble for her. She shouldn't be that stupid." Yan Yuxiu nodded, "Yes, her cousin and cousin are both in number 1 middle school. If she harms me, her cousin and cousin will also be in trouble. There is no need to introduce them to me. She also confiscated my money and said I'll give her the money after my face is healed." Makes sense. The Yan family's parents were immediately relieved. But they don't want Jiaoningsun to help with treatment for the time being. Their daughter's face is only a little better, but not completely healed. They still have to take another look. If it was really that powerful and allowed their daughter to regain her life, they would have to come to thank her in person. After finishing breakfast, Zhou Yuing saw that her daughter was going to school soon, so she suddenly brought a mask over and said, "Yuxiu, put the mask on for now." Yan Yuxiu asked doubtfully, "Why do you need to wear it?" In the past, when she wanted to wear a mask, her parents were the first to object, saying that having acne was nothing to be embarrassed about and she should be optimistic. Now that the acne is about to be cured, do I have to wear it again? Zhou Yuing said with a mysterious face, "Just listen to me." Yan Yuxiu had no choice but to listen to her. 2 hours later, Jiaoningsun made a simple breakfast. After eating, he walked slowly into the school gate with his school bag on his back. At this time, there are still 20 minutes before morning reading. I walk slowly over, and there is enough time. Jiaoningsun came to the door of class 8, Grade 3. She just didn't expect that when she arrived at the door, there was no one in the classroom. At present, it is only a senior year, and it seems that everyone will not grab time. Before she went in, Hyun, who happened to be behind her, was about to push the door open and go in. Jiaoningsun grabbed his sleeve. Hyun, what's wrong? Jiaoningsun glanced around and saw that the back door was also closed. Seeing Li Fangfang looking at her not far away, he strode over and held her hand with a smile. Although I am a transfer student, you don't have to let me go in first. You go in first. End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 178. Li Fangfang wanted to struggle, but she didn't expect Jiaoningsun to be so strong, so he just pulled her to the door. Jiaoningsun said, "You go ahead, classmate, he and I will come in later." Li Fangfang stood at the door and glanced over her head, her face filled with worry. Tang Shuling, who was also in class 8, grade 2, came over and saw Li Fangfang blocking the door. He said impatiently, "What are you doing blocking here? There are many students who want to go in later." After saying that, he pushed Li Fangfang's school bag. Li Fangfang was caught off guard and suddenly leaned forward. As soon as she touched the door, all the water in the basin on the door poured down, just onto her body. Tang Shuling saw the water falling and instinctively jumped to the side without being splashed by the water at all. Seeing that there was no one in the classroom, Tang Shuling helplessly shouted to the classmates behind him, "Who is so boring? Are you still playing such elementary school tricks? It's embarrassing for you. Class is about to begin. In case the teacher meets me, let's see how you explain it." Others looked at each other. They had just arrived and really didn't know the situation. Some people who were in a hurry to study ignored Tang Shuling's words and quickly entered the classroom, walked to their seats and started reading. Li Fangfang cried angrily and stared at Jiaoningsun fiercely, "I have no enmity with you, why do you want to harm me?" Hyun took a step forward, "That's right. She has no enmity with you. She just transferred to another school a few days ago. How could she possibly harm you? Look at the way she is carrying her school bag, and you know she must have just come to school. If you don't believe me, you can go to the monitoring room to adjust the monitoring to see if she has just arrived." Guan Yiwen also came over, and he was one step slower than Hyun. He also saw what happened just now, and said, "Yes, she almost opened the door just now. If she hadn't seen you waiting next to her, she would have. I won't give in to you." Seeing that both of them were helping Jiaoningsun to speak, Li Fangfang was almost angry to death. You, what benefit did Jiaoningsun give you to help her speak like this? Jiaoningsun's face looks like a vixen, but she really does look like a vixen. The people in the class are all interested in sex, and they all talk for good-looking people. What aspect of her face is inferior to Jiaoningsun's? Let them team up to deal with her. Hyun said with disdain, "You are thinking too much. She is a transfer student. The teacher has said that classmates should help each other. And in today's matter, Jiaoningsun is obviously innocent. We just talk for you and bully the transfer students together? Then who are we?" Li Fangfang became even more angry. "What's going on?" Zhou Anning came over to supervise morning reading, but she didn't expect to see her students quarreling as soon as she arrived. Hyun hurriedly explained the situation just now. "Teacher Zhou, tell me, is Li Fangfang making trouble unreasonably?" Zhou Anning was also a student. When he heard it, he knew that it was his students who ganged up to bully the transfer students, but he didn't expect that the transfer students would handle him. "Classmate Li Fangfang, please go back to the dormitory and change your clothes before coming back." Li Fangfang nodded and cried, "Teacher, you must make the decision for me and punish Jiaoningsun severely." She has been so arrogant since she arrived and bullied her classmates. She is really too arrogant and domineering. Jo Anning reassured, the matter has not been investigated clearly yet, and it is not necessarily Jiaoningsun's fault. Don't worry, no matter who is found out, the teacher will give him a severe punishment. Li Fangfang was satisfied and went to change clothes. There were many students at the door at this time. Jo Anning signaled everyone else to enter the classroom, and Monitor Ji Ruishan quickly mopped the floor. Jo Anning stood on the podium, glanced at the students who were mostly studying, and said solemnly, "Who put that basin of water in?" The classroom suddenly fell silent, and the only sound that could be heard was the loud reading next door. Jiaoningsun raised her hands and stood up. "Teacher, I want to go to the toilet." Jo Anning nodded. "Go ahead." After Jiaoningsun left, Jo Anning continued, "Today is the second day of school, and something like this happened. Who did it? Come forward quickly. If I find out afterwards, I will never take it lightly." Rao. The whole class is still very quiet. Jo Anning frowned and said, "Because you delayed the whole class's morning reading by yourself, don't you feel guilty?" Still no one stood up in the classroom, and no one reported it. Then all I have to do is call the monitoring room and ask someone to monitor it. After Jo Anning finished speaking, she really called the monitoring room. Unfortunately, the monitoring room in their classroom suddenly broke down last night and there was no time to repair it. Jo Anning suddenly became even more angry. That person must have known that the surveillance system was broken, otherwise he would not have dared to do such a thing. At this moment, Jiaoningsun came from the door and said, "Teacher Jo, you can't get anything out of this question. Someone just sent a video to my phone. Give me 2 minutes and I'll find out." Jo Anning didn't want to waste everyone's time, but thinking about how arrogant that person was, and wanting to teach that person a lesson, she nodded. Jiaoningsun transferred the video to the computer on the podium and opened the multimedia. Soon, the scene of the murderer when he committed the crime appeared on the screen. The murderer behind the scenes shook his body. How could it be possible? When he came, there was obviously no one inside or outside the classroom. And the location where the video was recorded is easy to see, it is at Bai Yi's position. But Bai Yi was famous for being late in the class, and it was impossible for her to show up in the classroom at that time. Even if Bai Yi appeared in the classroom, she would never help the transfer student report him. After Jiaoningsun finished playing, everyone stared at Feng Kai, who was sitting behind Bai Yi. Feng Kai looked calm on the face, but he was so nervous inside that he almost jumped out of his skin. Jo Anning looked disappointed and said, "Feng Kai, Jiaoningsun, you come to the office with me, while the others continue their morning reading." Feng Kai glanced at Bai Yi in front of him, didn't say anything, and went out obediently. "Office." Jo Anning reprimanded, "Feng Kai, the new classmate has no enmity with you, why do you want to bully the new classmate? If you don't read good books and do those elementary school students' tricks, are you still young?" Feng Kai lowered his head and said, "I'm sorry, teacher, I just had a sudden impulse and wanted to play a prank." Seeing him admitting his mistake so straightforwardly, Jo Anning was not easy to scold. Jo Anning said helplessly, "Although you have admitted your mistake, you still have to be punished. This kind of bullying of classmates will never be allowed to happen in the school. I will report it to you and punish you." Feng Kai suddenly became anxious and prayed, "Teacher, please don't report it. I was wrong. If my family knew that I was causing trouble in school, they would definitely be sad. If they are not in good health, they will definitely get angry. As long as you don't report it, I am willing to do whatever you want me to do." End of chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 179. Zhou Anning also knew about the situation at Feng Kai's family. Hearing this, he looked at Jiao Ningxun and asked, "What did you say?" Jiao Ningxun said, "The ultimate victim is not me. Even if his purpose may be me, I don't care. You should ask Li Fangfang. I think she is very angry. Feng Kai just wants to please his sweetheart. If he troubles her again in the future, she doesn't mind giving him a painful lesson. Those who cultivate immortality are willing to give a chance to those who make small mistakes. But even if she didn't pursue the case, the school probably wouldn't let him go." Li Fangfang happened to come over and knocked on the office door. Zhou Anning asked her to come in and explain the situation. "Are you willing to forgive Feng Kai?" Li Fangfang didn't expect that Feng Kai did this. Thinking of the relationship between Feng Kai and Bai Yi, she said helplessly, "Teacher, I'm in trouble, I can forgive him." Zhou Anning looked at Feng Kai. "Since neither of them makes things difficult for you, let's forget about it for today. However, there will still be a punishment. I will punish you by cleaning the classroom for a month. Are you convinced?" Feng Kai said excitedly, "Okay, thank you Teacher Zhou." Jiao Ningxun returned to her seat, and Yan Yuxiu was looking at her wearing a mask. "Are you okay?" She came relatively late, and by the time she came over, everything had already happened. Jiao Ningxun shook his head. "It's okay, but why are you wearing a mask all of a sudden? Is my medicine useless?" "Your medicine is very useful." Yan Yuxiu could only say what her mother said once. "Oh, I see, it's normal for your mother to have this idea." After 2 classes, Jiao Ningxun poked He Yuan Hua's back, and He Yuan Hua immediately turned around. "Did you understand all the knowledge points in the math class just now?" He Yuan Hua's body stiffened. Jiao Ningxun looked at Guan Yiwen next to him again. "Have you understood everything?" Guan Yiwen's body trembled. Jiao Ningxun said helplessly, "Bring the book over and circle what you don't understand and I'll explain it to you." The two of them had no choice but to be obedient. When Yan Yuxiu saw this, she was too embarrassed to stop studying and was also listening. The math teacher in their class was still the same as last semester, and she couldn't understand part of what he said. Seeing this, Wei Dongchen went over and asked Jiao Ningxun if he could attend the lecture. Of course, Jiao Ningxun agreed. The situation on their side was quickly noticed by others. Bai Yi, Zheng Xuanjiao and Li Fangfang stood in the distance. Bai Yi said in a strange tone, "This new transfer student really has some tricks up her sleeve." She actually made He Yuan Hua look kindly to her as soon as she arrived. Zheng Xuanjiao said, "Yes, He Yuan Hua never talked casually with the girls in the class before. As soon as she came, He Yuan Hua talked more. I have seen He Yuan Hua talking to transfer students several times. So gentle." Li Fangfang said, "I watched them sitting together for dinner yesterday. He Yuan Hua's brother He Yuan Yang is also very good to the transfer students." Bai Yi snorted, "The transfer student is a vixen. He Yuan Hua rejected us before and said he should concentrate on studying. When he saw the transfer student coming, he immediately pounced on us. To put it bluntly, he still disliked us for not being pretty enough." Zheng Xuanjiao nodded in agreement. "That's right, I thought he was really a gentleman, but I didn't expect that he just likes beautiful women." Li Fangfang suddenly took out her mobile phone and took a photo. Bai Yi and Zheng Xuanjiao glanced at her doubtfully. Li Fangfang smiled and said, "They love learning so much that they couldn't help but take a photo." The two of them didn't ask any more questions. After lunch yesterday, Jiao Ningxun told He Yuan Yang that he would eat with his classmates by himself in the future without waiting for them, which would not waste his time. So today at noon, only Jiao Ningxun, He Yuan Hua, Guan Yiwen, and Wei Dongchen went to have dinner together. Although the set meal is not as delicious as the stir-fried dishes, it is still good as they all include meat dishes. Nanjing number 1 middle school is the best middle school in Nanjing city, and the food in the cafeteria is also remarkable. After everyone had packed their meals, Wei Dongchen asked, "Why didn't Yan Yuxiu come over today?" Jiao Ningxun thought of what Yan Yuxiu said to herself after class, and smiled and said, "Leave her alone, she said she would have dinner with us in a few days. She has to take off her mask when eating with them." Oh. Jiao Ningxun was worried about gaining weight, so she gave all the fat in her dish to He Yuny, "You eat more meat, I'm afraid of getting fat." "Don't worry, I haven't touched my chopsticks yet." He Yuny nodded, "Well, thank you very much, cousin." He knew what his cousin said was true. She was the same at home. She didn't eat any fat meat and usually only ate a few bites of particularly lean meat. Jiao Ningxun didn't say anything when she saw that the dishes on Guan Yiwen and Wei Dongchen's plates were the same as those of her cousin. They are both living a good life now. They have regular jobs. She also allows them to work part-time in the fields on Saturdays and weekends. They are not short of living expenses now. A person not far away saw them eating and took another photo. Guan Yiwen had no idea that he was being secretly photographed. While eating, he asked, "Cousin, who sent you that evidence video? Do you know the other people in our class?" Jiao Ningxun said seriously, "I promised that person, but I can't say it out loud. I'm sorry." She recorded it herself using past due to go back to the past. "That person is her." "It's okay." Guan Yiwen smiled and said, "Cousin, you don't have to be polite. That person is probably afraid of revenge." "I understand." At this time, Bai Yi, Zheng Xuanjiao and Li Fangfang were eating in a restaurant outside. Bai Yi said apologetically, "Fangfang, I'm sorry, our target was originally Jiao Ningxun, but we didn't expect that she found out, and then she implicated you. For today's meal, just treat it as my gift to you. I'm sorry." Zheng Xuanjiao also said, "We didn't do it on purpose, so don't blame us." Li Fangfang sighed, "I know, how many people in our class dare to bully me? But next time you have such a plan, you'd better tell me in advance." "Okay, definitely," Zheng Xuanjiao said, "we just made it up on the spur of the moment. We won't do it next time. It's just..." Zheng Xuanjiao said doubtfully, "Yi, why do I feel that Jiao Ningxun's video seemed to be recorded while standing in your seat?" Bai Yi nodded, "I think it's similar too, but it can't be me. I came with you right after I left the house today, and I've been with you the whole time." Zheng Xuanjiao said, "Yes, that's why I feel strange." Li Fangfang suddenly turned pale and said, "Jiao Ningxun is not a monster. Is the person who helped her a monster?" Bai Yi and Zheng Xuanjiao were stunned. Bai Yi said, "How can there be monsters in this world? Don't scare yourself." Zheng Xuanjiao said, "Yes, if there are monsters, there are ghosts. Have you heard people say, 'Who has seen monsters?' Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible." Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 180. Li Fangfang thought about it for a while and felt that she had overthought it, so she breathed a sigh of relief. Suddenly, Bai Yi received a photo on her phone. Her face was extremely gloomy. At night, Jiao Ningxun returned to Tianling community alone. After washing up and pretending, I still started the live broadcast. The anchor finally appeared. "Today is the same time as yesterday. Did the anchor just finish the evening self-study? It is very likely that this time period is very similar to the time for self-study in the evening in some high schools." "Ah, the anchor is a high school student? This is too awesome." Looking at her back in the previous video, she does look like a high school student. The anchor has such a great ability at such a young age, and I don't know who taught it. Her master must be more powerful. Anchor, who is your master? Can you reveal a little bit? Upstairs, you take yourself too seriously. Others have no obligation to tell you. That's what I said, I won't ask any more, and others shouldn't embarrass the host. Chiaoning Suan, good evening everyone, my master really cannot say more. There are still 3 places available today. In order for everyone to go to bed early, please hurry up and tell your fortune. Sanshung is lucky enough to meet you, fortune teller. Chiaoning Suan, Sanshung is lucky enough to meet you, please pay in advance. Sanshung was lucky enough to meet you and immediately rewarded 2 carnivals. Chiaoning Suan, 1 is enough. Sanshung is lucky enough to meet you, I have been observing you for a long time, and you are very accurate, so I am happy to give you a little more. Wow, is a rich man here today? This is the first time I met such a generous person. He is really rich and powerful, I am so envious. I am also envious. I am a student party member, and my monthly living expenses are only 1,500 yuan, and I still haven't saved enough money for fortune telling. Chiaoning Sun agreed to the connection that Sanshung is lucky enough to meet you. A man in his 30s appeared in the camera. Chiaoning Sun, Sanshung is lucky enough to meet you. What do you want to ask? Sanshung was lucky enough to meet you and said with a smile, hello, host, you can call me Yan Jianyi. Since he is his client, Chiaoning Sun can meet such a small request. Chiaoning Sun, hello, Yan Jianyi. Yan Jianyi, anchor, as long as you let me see your face, I can give you tens of thousands more as gifts. Chiaoning Sun rolled her eyes in her heart, Yan Jianyi, this is a fortune-telling live broadcast room. I'm not just relying on my reputation. I'll give you another chance. If you don't say anything, I'll cut off the connection immediately. Yan Jianyi, how can that be done? I've already given you the money. Chiaoning Sun, why not, I have the final say in my live broadcast room. Yan Jianyi, if you have something to say, please tell me quickly. There are people waiting in line behind me. There are only 3 anchors in a day. If you grab one, you should cherish it. That's right, I almost got it, and I have to go to bed late again today. Hurry up, don't waste everyone's time. If you don't say it again, be careful if we kill you. You dare to tease the anchor in front of us, can you bear the anger of tens of thousands of people in the live broadcast room? As soon as Yan Jian saw that he had aroused public anger, he hurriedly said, okay, let me tell you. I was just joking. If I offended the anchor, please forgive me. Chiaoning Sun, I only forgive you this time. Yan Jianyi, that's right. I want to ask, does this girlfriend I have now really like me? Or is she with me because of money? Chiaoning Sun calculated with her fingers, of course I am with you because of money. You are 35 years old and have begun to gain weight. From time to time, you still have some problems and have to stay in the hospital for 10.5 days. She is only 20 years old this year. Young and beautiful, with a hot figure. You said she really fell in love with you if it wasn't because of money. Yan Jian gritted his teeth, it's true. I knew she was lying to me when she said she loved me every day. Isn't this obvious? Also used to ask the anchor? That is, if a 20-year-old girl looks for someone your age, although I dare not say 100%, there is a 98% chance that she will use you as a cash machine. Yes, some girls worship money very much and will follow whoever has money. This is nothing new. How handsome do you think you are, that you actually think a 20-year-old girl really likes you? Haha, this is the first time I see such a narcissistic person. Because of Yan Jianyi's frivolous remarks just now, when the water friends heard about his experience, not only did they not sympathize with him, but they all added insult to injury. At this moment, a girl who had finished taking a shower appeared behind Yan Jianyi. She should be the 20-year-old girlfriend he just mentioned. The girl hugged him from behind. She glanced at the computer screen and saw an anchor wearing a mask. She felt relieved and said softly, "You also like to watch live broadcasts?" Yan Jianyi frowned and said, "Yes, what? I can't like it?" Lu Yao Yao, "Of course not. I just think that this anchor is wrapped up so tightly and there is nothing interesting to see. You might as well look at me." Yan Jian turned his head and stared at her. "Lu Yao Yao, do you really love me?" Lu Yao Yao, "Love, if I don't love you, can I be with you? What if I don't have money now, what if I can't give you money to buy a bag?" "Of course I do. What I love is your person, not your money. I love you no matter whether you have money or not." "Okay, my hands are a little tight now. I gave you a lot of money before. Give me 100,000 and let me make some money." "Huh? How could you have no money? Don't you earn tens of millions a year? How could you be short of 100,000 yuan? The company has gone bankrupt, and now I owe a lot of debt." "What?" Lu Yao Yao's face suddenly darkened. "Isn't your company doing fine yesterday? I saw you going to a meeting. You even showed me your savings." Yan Jianyi sighed and said, "Those are all illusions. I'm just worried that you are with me because of money. That deposit is just a screenshot of the past." Lu Yao Yao frowned and said, "In other words, you will have no money in the future? You asked me to come here today because you asked me to borrow money." Yan Jianyi, "Yes, since you love me so much, you will definitely accompany me to make a comeback, right? I don't owe much, only 5 million. With my ability, within 5 years, I can definitely make a comeback pay off." "5 years," Lu Yao Yao mocked, "I'm only 20 years old, and I want to spend 5 years on you? Am I stupid? From today on, let's break up. You are not the only rich man in the world, why should I? Hang yourself from your dying tree." After saying that, she took her clothes to the bathroom and prepared to change.